What is up, guys? Zan from the Madden YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you not one, but two gap shoots for tackle for loss against this run that is growing in popularity. But before we get into the video, please do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. Also, make sure you guys take the time to hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the uploads coming your way here on the Zan Madden YouTube channel. If you guys want to take your game to the next level in Madden 21, check out my strategy site, gridirongameplans.gg. Gridiron Game Plans is your one-stop source for all things competitive Madden. Every week in our Vault Update, we take a look at the meta, or the most effective tactics available being used by pro players in the MCS circuit, breaking down not only how and why the pros do what they do, but most importantly, how you can counter those metas when you face them in online play. On top of that, your subscription also includes any and every offensive and defensive game plan released on the website while your subscription is active. So head over to gridirongameplans.gg, $9.95 per month unlocks the entire website, and you can opt out at any time. Okay, guys, without further ado, let's get into today's video. I'm going to show you two gap shoots that you guys can use against the gun trips tight end quick base, or the 45 quick base. This is a run that is growing in popularity. I've seen people on Twitter complaining about it. People think it's a pretty tough run to stop, in particular out of the 3-3-5 wide meta. Now, I'm going to show you a gap shoot out of my favorite defense, which is the nickel 2-4-5. Now, this is going to be very, very similar to the video that we did on Monday, showing you guys how to stop the trap, because this is what you can do against pulling guard plays. It doesn't matter if it's a base or a trap. So let's go ahead and kind of refresh you on what this tip was. I'm going to show you the 2-4-5 quarters defense. This is something that I love to call. You obviously can tell I spend a lot of time in it. 4,219 calls in that. I've mixed in a fair amount of cover 3 clouds, some cover 6. I've spent a decent amount of snaps in palms as well. This is my defense. This is the one that I like to run. Now, what you're going to do with this particular defense, and I teach the coverage rules that I like to use in particular, and the adjustments that I like to use in particular against trips tight end on Gridiron Game Plans. But from a run gap shooting perspective, what I like to do is I like to go ahead and pinch my defense. That's right bumper, or R1 on PlayStation, and then you're going to flick your left analog stick down, and that's going to pinch your defensive lineman most importantly. Then from there, I love to use the safety. This safety comes down into the box to a depth of about 6 or 7 yards off the ball, standing directly over the center's helmet. Now, if you guys know it's a run play, being in a zone is actually not a bad thing. You get immediate control. It's kind of like the inverse of blitzing your user against the pass. You guys know that if it's a pass play, you have better agility and change of direction if your user is in a blitz assignment or a spy. When you are facing the run, having a blitzed user is going to take him down into the gap, which is fine as long as your arrow is aiming where you want to gap shoot. So you can see here, if I step to the left, he kind of shoots into the left B gap. That's not really what you want. You want to make sure that you're head up on the center, so you're attacking the weak side run shoulder of that center. Or like I said, you could just leave him in his quarter zone, which will give you immediate control, especially if you know it's a run. Now, obviously, like I said, if it's a pass play and you're in a zone assignment, your agility is going to be pretty trash, but that's a guessing game that I'm going to leave up to you guys. Most of you obviously are going to blitz. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to aim at the backside shoulder of the center, and you're going to run straight down through the middle. And if you do this correctly, you saw right there, the blitz assignment took me down into the muck. That's why, you know, if it's better if you have a zone assignment. But if you go ahead and crash your defensive line to the left against the quick base, this is actually going to open up that gap for you to shoot really easily. You see how the guy has to turn around and block you, which leaves the linebackers at the point of attack uncovered. So, you know, against this, you're just going to pinch your defense, crash your line to the left, and you're just going to stand right here and just try to fly straight in through the middle. And if you do this correctly, you're going to get a tackle for loss pretty easily. So the most important step is definitely to crash the line to the left. And this is, you know, going to be kind of similar to the 0-1 trap. Now, there is no 0-1 trap in this particular, you know, formation, so this should be just fine. But you're going to be able to shoot through pretty easily. So again, pinch your defense, crash your line to the left, bring your user down, and you're going to shoot straight down at the center. And you should be in untouched for a tackle for loss. Pretty easy. After you've done it a few times, you'll get the muscle memory down. This should remind you, like I said, of Monday's video. If you don't recall Monday's video, you guys can go back. The link is in the description below. And this was, again, kind of the same premise that we used against the 0-1 trap, and I'm going to show you a quick rep of that. So in that one, we pitched the defense, crashed our line up, and blitzed our user, and then we just kind of fly straight down through the middle and get our tackle on the ball carrier in the backfield. So the only real difference is that now you're crashing your line to the side of the base rather than crashing up. Now let's go ahead and get into a defense that is a little bit more meta-centric. Now this is a gap shoot that I did not come up with. This was actually found by Astro on Twitter. I've included his link below because I want to make sure I give props where due. He shared this publicly on Twitter. It got a lot of likes, got a few retweets, but I think it's really, really nice because those of you out there that run 3-3-5 are going to really, really like this tip. Now, I am going to take this to kind of another level here. What I'm going to do is we're going to choose the 3-3-5 wide, and you could run this on mana line. So you guys know that I was the one that kind of popularized the mana line concept against trips tight end. I think that what it does is it gives you the look that you're in man. It also gives you an extra body at the point of attack. So having all three of your corners in a nickel set on the three receivers is really, really nice. So I like to go ahead and just set this to mana line for this concept. And you're going to choose any play, but Mike Blitz 3 obviously is kind of the meta. Most players like to set their Mabel coverage depths out of this, so they'll set their flats to 25 or 30 or whatever, and then they'll have their curl flats to 5 or 10. Chances are you'll have them to 10 to take away outside receivers on curls. So you might get something that looks a little bit like this. And then obviously option defense is conservative for most players. But we'll go ahead and kind of set up the double Mabel look here. So when they come out in this trips tight end base, you're going to do a couple of things. So let's go ahead and take the field here. So you see that with the mana line, you have all three corners, Terrell Jr., Oliver, and Denard, all on the trip side. That's really, really nice. Gives you extra bodies over there. What you're going to do is you're going to shift your line towards the running back. You're going to spread your linebackers, and you're going to take this, and you're going to crash your defensive line up. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take this user and you're going to stack it behind the nose tackle, or now it's technically a 2 technique, which is head up on the guard. And you're going to offset to the right hip or the outside hip with this. Now, again, with this particular strategy, it does actually work that you could put the guy in a zone. In fact, it's probably better. With the blitz, he's actually flying in through the gap that we actually want to. So having a blitz is fine too. But with this, you're just going to kind of shoot in. Again, this is kind of why I prefer to leave him in a zone on this. This one to me is a little bit less consistent, but it is something you can do. So you're going to press, you're going to shift your defensive line towards the running back. You're going to spread your linebackers. You're going to crash your defensive line up, and you're going to kind of set right here. And then when that ball snapped, you're going to fly in and get this tackle for loss. So that's kind of the way that you shoot it. If you notice that they're picking you up or blocking you, you're probably standing a little bit too close to the center. So, if you're like stacked like right here, this could be a little bit tougher to shoot. So you can kind of see here how they try to block you or you trip up. That can kind of be the user error that you'll encounter with this particular gap shoot. But if you make sure that you're cognizant of where you're standing, you kind of offset your user, kind of into the, you want to be close, but you want to be on the hip, kind of in this area right here. This allows you to kind of fly in and get that tackle for loss. You could have you could just do a conservative tackle to kind of get your suction. But then again, like I mentioned, if you put the guy in a zone, it makes him a little bit more fluid. And that's going to give you immediate control. So you're going to see here how you can kind of like fly down. You see right there that I kind of glitched out right there. I stood a little bit too close, but it freed up the guy that was next to me, which was kind of nice. But again, you're going to kind of put your guy into a zone, kind of offset on the hip right here. And you're trying to fly in through like this A gap right here. You don't want to get into the center. You want to get in like right into this spot right here. So it's going to take a little bit of practice. I personally don't run 3-3-5, so this is something that's a little bit more of a challenge for me. But when you actually like get it down, you're going to know. Another thing you could do, like I mentioned at the top of the video, is put your guy in a spy. That'll kind of drift him towards the center. The one thing with the spy is the first step might be back in middle rather than down in middle. So kind of, prepare yourself for where you might stand if you'd like to use a spy. Just kind of the best of both worlds. It allows you to have a little bit of agility in the pass game. It allows you to click off if they scramble and, have a guy that's going to chase the quarterback. Just like a blitz assignment might. But obviously you don't have that auto step that sometimes gets you blocked, which is nice as well. So putting the guy in a spy can kind of, you know, it can kind of help. You see right here, like right there, I got picked up. So you're going to have to find the sweet spot of where to stand depending on what assignment you like to use. But again, here it's shift your defensive line towards the running back, spread your linebackers, crash your defensive line up. You're going to stand back here. You're going to find the sweet spot based off of your user. Again, I think it's kind of like right here, you know, roughly in this area. And then it really, if you know it's a run play, I just prefer to put the guy in a zone and then kind of fly in like that. Again, you see that I'm inconsistent with it. To me, this gap shoot is going to require a lot of practice. If you guys are 3-3-5 wide users, this is nothing new to you in terms of practicing where to stand in a line. But I think the 2-4-5 one, like that is just such an easy call. Again, you kind of stand right here. You see right there, I'm really, really close. But the problem is if you whiff, there's so much pressure on the user. So it's possible, but just make sure that you guys are putting in the time and the effort if you are 3-3-5 wide, but that is definitely where to stand. Again, for me, if you're looking pound for pound, the best way to stop most of the runs in the game, 2-4-5 is really where it's at. I can call on this at nearly any time and know that I'm going to be in a really good spot to shoot this gap. So again, for the 2-4-5, all you're doing is, and I'm going to unman a line here, you're just going to pinch your defense. You're going to crash your line to the side that they're running to. You're going to bring this guy down right here. And then when that ball snapped, you're going to run in right here through the backfield and get that tackle for loss. It's a clean gap shoot straight down. You don't have to have any crazy stick work or anything crazy with that. So there you guys have it. 2 gap shoots for the trips tight end. Quick base, this is a popular run. Fortunately for us, it's really only in a few playbooks. I want to say it's like New England, Buffalo, and like there's maybe one other playbook in the game. Which one that is not coming to mind off the top of my head. Actually, it's the Dolphins. It's the Dolphins book. So those are the 3 books that you have to watch out for it in. It is a really good run. But, you know, the good thing here is that you won't have to worry about it too much out of, you know, it's basically just a trips tight end run. So if you guys like today's video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or complaints, certainly drop those below as well. Make sure you subscribe here to the YouTube channel. We upload 5 times a week, Monday through Friday in the morning or early afternoon. And you guys can take a look at Gridiron game plans. Again, guys, you unlock the entire website for $9.95. Just got our vault update out with the pass interference glitch, how to counter it, the motion glitches against match quarters and palms that are starting to gain a little bit of popularity, and also why your opponent cannot set their option defense to conservative. Really, really nice vault update here. Second vault update a month. You can get that update and everything else on the website, again, for $9.95. If I don't see you guys over on Gridiron, I'll see you guys right back here tomorrow with our next video upload. Until then, this is Zan. Get in the lab and good luck.